What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, bringing you the best of all things gaming each and every day. Today for our Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video, I've got the final golden weapon review for the time being. After this episode, we'll be jumping into our weapon camo showcase videos where I'll be going through, and it'll just be very short clips of each weapon with each camo, the gold, diamond, and dark matter camo, all of the base weapons in the game. So we'll be getting into that right after this golden weapon review. It will be taking the place of the golden weapon review videos for a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting into DLC golden weapon reviews. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit the like button and let me know in a comment down there in the comment section. But before we get started on today's M8A7 golden weapon review, I'd like to remind you that I'm not necessarily here to make you guys happy with these golden weapon reviews. I'm here to give my honest opinion on a weapon's performance based on facts and my own personal experience. So if I say something that you don't like, well, it's my opinion and I'm entitled to it. If you disagree with anything you hear in the videos, let me know in the comments section and we can discuss some of the things that you hear. So I'm only saying that. If that wasn't ominously revealing enough, I'll tell you forthright why I said that in this video over all of the other golden weapon reviews. Although this weapon seems to be the community's favorite weapon, favorite assault rifle, just favorite gun in the entire game, I dislike the M8A7. A lot of people really love this gun, and it's been like the #1 most used gun, maybe apart from the VMP, from day one in this game. But I dislike it. I'm not a fan of the M8A7. I find it finicky. I find it irregular. I think it never yields the same results when you're in a similar gunfight. So sometimes it'll crush enemies in a single burst across the map, whereas other times you'll shoot 2 or 3 bursts at a guy at point blank range and he won't die. So it's just irregular. That's the only word I can really come up with to explain the weapon. Being the only manual burst fire primary weapon as well, not including the PO6 because that's more of a sniper rifle, that adds an extra layer of difficulty to using the weapon as well. So that being said, let's take a look through each of the weapon statistics while trying to be as unbiased as possible. So the M8A7 does a decent amount of damage, low compared to assault rifles in previous Call of Duty games, but for Black Ops 3 it is on average. It's going to deal it's going to get a kill in 4 to 6 shots. As previously stated, this gun's damage over range is a little bit unpredictable, meaning you'll always want to fire at least 2 to 3 bursts at your enemies regardless of what range you're at, just so you can guarantee that you'll hit enough shots to kill them before, like, you don't want to just shoot 1 burst and go, oh yeah, I'll get them in 1 burst, because then if you hesitate before you fire a second burst, that'll give your enemy time to run away. So always just be prepared to fire 2 to 3 bursts at a minimum. Luckily enough, the M8A7's poor damage profile is balanced with a higher fire rate and accuracy, with laser accuracy second only to the ICR-1 when it comes to assault rifles, and a fire rate slowed only by burst delay. The M8A7 is deadly in an experienced player's hands. Unfortunately, I'm talking about really experienced players. Like, burst weapons are historically harder to use than standard fully automatic weapons or even semi-automatic weapons. I find burst weapons to be the hardest of all of the weapons to use, regardless of what Call of Duty game you're talking about. With Black Ops 3, we got auto burst, which was really nice. It made it so much simpler to use burst weapons. Unfortunately, the M8A7, because it's such a powerful weapon in other regards, they've made the M8A7 a manual burst, meaning that you'll have to pull the trigger every single time you want bullets to come out of the barrel. You can't just hold it down and let the bursts cycle themselves. You have to use your mind to think of the timing and when you can fire your next burst. If you pull the trigger too soon, you'll oversample and you won't fire a burst. It's very difficult to use a burst fire weapon in a Call of Duty game, especially when it's not auto burst. Auto burst takes all of the difficulty out of it. M8A7, no auto burst, so it's pretty difficult. You have to be experienced with using burst weapons to use this thing properly. You can't fire too fast, you can't fire too slow. You gotta think about moving and looking and jumping and firing and pulling the trigger rapidly all at the same time. So it is a little bit more difficult to use than your standard assault rifle. As far as accuracy goes, accuracy is a double-edged blade. A weapon that's too accurate can cause some heartache when the player using that weapon isn't accurate enough themselves. If you're using a laser weapon like the M8A7, where all 4 of your bullets will almost go in the same hole, and you aim at an enemy, but your accuracy yourself isn't that great, you'll miss all 4 shots. Whereas with a fully automatic weapon where it's going to kick around a little bit and it's going to jump and bob and weave, you might actually, even if you have bad accuracy, you might get some shots on that enemy. Whereas with this thing, no way, Jose. You got to have perfect accuracy yourself to use the perfect accuracy that the M8A7 almost has. So it's a double-edged blade. You get what I'm saying. Moving on to weapon speeds, the M8A7 is right on par with the other assault rifles for aim down sights and movement speed, but reload speed on this weapon is monstrously slow. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just another balancing factor that they decided to add in, but this thing reloads ridiculously slowly compared to how fast you can burn through the ammo in the magazine. So almost all close range engagements are jeopardized by the length of time it required to reload your magazines, to the point where learning to reload cancel, YYing or sprint canceling, I don't think you can sprint cancel in this game, not that I ever do, but you got to learn how to cancel your reload. It's not even an option with this weapon, it's a requirement. You need to know how to reload cancel to use this weapon at all. Fast mags is also a viable solution to this problem, but I would recommend you use a combination of the two. Use fast mags and still reload cancel, because it just takes a long time to reload this weapon. Being a manual burst fire weapon, the hip fire accuracy on the M8 is hilariously bad. It's just, don't try to hip fire people. Just aim down your sights before you shoot at them. The iron sights, last but not least, are 50-50. If you're sticking to medium range engagements, they're usable. If you intend to attack enemies at longer range, you'll definitely need an optic. Even if it's something like an ELO or a reflex, which is what I prefer on this weapon, you'll need an optic to engage enemies at longer ranges. Now that we know all of the ins and outs of the M8, let's talk about the best way to use it. So the M8A7 is a jack of all trades for experienced players. There's a reason that it's the last weapon that you unlock in the game. It's really hard to use, and it takes a lot of skill. So they expect that by the time you reach the final level in the game, you will have gained enough skill with other weapons that you are now prepared to use this thing. So if you do intend to use the weapon, I would suggest that you permanently unlock it so that you have the time to practice with it, because there's no other gun in the game that's like the M8A7. The XR2 is similar, but because it has auto burst, it's very different all at the same time. So if you are going to use the M8A7, I suggest you permanently unlock it so you have the time to practice with it and get really good with it. When it comes to game modes and playstyle, the M8A7 is great when you can stack up, head glitch, watch an objective, get the drop on your enemies. So as long as you're shooting first, you should be able to secure the kill, and objective modes will give you a little bit of help with that because they'll provide you with some extra knowledge on the battlefield, and it will let you plan your attacks in advance. You'll know where the enemies are coming from because you'll know the spawns, because from playing objective modes, you'll just generally learn where enemies are spawning, and it's very clear where the enemy will be coming from, where they'll be going to, and you can find an area between those 2 points and stack up and just get ready for your gunfights. You always want to shoot first when you're using the M8A7. When you're building a class, you can really use whatever you want, but it's probably best to stick to your objective perks like flak jacket, tac mask, stuff like that. Fast hands also very good because you always want to shoot first, and that will let you aim down your sights at your enemy a little bit faster after sprinting. A specialist that would be built for close range engagements is probably the best for the M8A7, Ripper or Heatwave, because when you're at close range, you need to get all 4 shots regardless, and somebody that is using a weapon that's a little bit more powerful, they can get 3 shots on you. Someone that's using a fully automatic weapon, something that fires quicker, they can get their shots on you before you get your 4 shots on them. So something that's good at close range is what you're going to want for your specialist for this weapon. When it comes to attachments, I've set up the M8A7 Boomer, which is featured in today's gameplay, identically to the XR2 Shredder, which was the variant from the XR2 Golden Weapon Review, which I will link in the description and in the card in the top right corner. I've put on grip, rapid fire, and elo sight. I find that the rapid fire speeds up the time, but it speeds up the time between bursts, allowing you to pull the trigger a little bit faster without oversampling. Grip just made the accuracy just that little bit better for me. And elo sight, like I said, I prefer optics on this weapon over the iron sights. If I were to newly construct a dark matter variant right now, I would change the elo to a reflex. I actually found that I like the reflex sight a little bit better than the elo on the M8A7. I would change the grip to fast mags. When you're not using rapid fire, you don't really need grip on this weapon. It's got such good accuracy anyways. So I would replace grip with fast mags just because fast mags is almost a necessity on this weapon. And I would use quick draw as well, just so I can get that extra little second of time on my enemies before they shoot back at me. So that is it for today's golden weapon review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did. Like I said, comment down below if you're interested in seeing some DLC golden weapon reviews. We may get into that after the weapon camo showcases, which will be coming up on the channel soon. Those are a little bit of extra work to record because I have to go through every single weapon, put them on a custom class, and then show them off. It's going to be a little bit before we get those weapon camo showcases out, but they will be coming. In between those, we've got first look reticles episodes and bonus videos. Of course, we've got other just general commentaries coming out. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can get all of that awesome content. Thank you guys so much for watching. There will probably, I don't know if there's gonna be a bonus video tonight. Just stay tuned to my Twitter at BlackTideTV, and I'll let you guys know if there's going to be a bonus video or not. I kind of really want to do a bonus video, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time, so I'll let you guys know over there. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.